Hey guys, it's Melanie. So this week I'm steering things in a little different direction here. I'm talking to all my mom friends or my parents, all my parents out there, which is pretty much everybody. So here is what I'm going with today. You know, I can remember when my kids were little, and I've got 3 kids. Okay, I've got a 23-year-old daughter, a 17-year-old son, and a 13-year-old daughter. So this week I'm going to talk about all those things that people tell you, like, you're going to miss this when it's gone. And you're like, oh, yeah, no, I can't wait till this phase is over. I can't wait till this is over. I won't miss it. So I'm here to tell you that you will miss it. And I never ever thought I would say it, but you will. I've got one that will be moving 800 miles away in a few weeks. So we're going to go in phases as to what you will miss as they grow. And of course, you know, some people say, well, boys are easier than girls, girls are easier than boys. So we're going to talk about maybe what you're going to miss and maybe what you won't miss, okay? So let's go with all the things that you will miss. As much as you think you won't, let's talk about those late night feedings. You are going to miss them. You are not going to miss the lack of sleep, but I remember that my son would wake up. And it kind of became like this little routine that we went through with him. You know, he'd wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning for like a couple weeks, you know, months, weeks, whatever, when he was an infant. And, you know, I'd be completely exhausted and would feed him and he would fall back asleep on my chest. I miss that. As exhausted as you may seem, you will miss that. I won't cry during this, I promise. Because I laugh at the young parents now, not because I laugh with them, not at them. I laugh because I remember going through that, and I don't want to tell them like, you'll miss this, but I kind of chuckle, and it's hard not to, because I'm like, there are certain things I miss. I miss sitting and telling my kids stories, no matter how many times I had to read Fox and Socks. No matter how many times I regretted that 40,000 page book, I miss reading that book. And I actually got to read it again a few weeks ago to the little kid I babysit for, and I was like, maybe I don't miss that book. I miss that time that was spent during that book. I really do. I miss reading The Loneliest Firefly. That was my son's favorite book, along with The Giving Tree. The meaning of that book, totally different after you've read it 700 times to a kid who's like, one more time, Mom, one more time. I miss my park visits. It's going to be a tough week for me. You will miss these things, I swear. It's funny now, and you get so aggravated, but when it's gone, it's gone. So deal with the times where you have to put them in timeouts, because you know what? 3 weeks from now, you'll laugh about it. Deal with the times where you're stepping on the freaking Legos and they hurt your feet, because they'll be gone. Take the time to build the silly little Lego towers that look the same every time, or play cars with them every time they ask you. Those little conversations that you have when they're 4 and 5 years old, when they ask you to be your best friend, or to marry you, or whatever it is they're asking you. Take that time. Don't be aggravated, because you will miss it. I promise. I talked about the late night feedings, but here's what you won't miss. Okay, so now we're going to take a different turn. Here's what you won't miss, because we're going to go from tears to like, hey, guess what? You can laugh about it. Late night feedings, yes, I miss. Late night vomiting sessions, you will not miss. There comes a point, we all survive. There comes a point where they can throw up by themselves, and you just kind of have to check on them. And you won't have to clean it up. You know, there comes a time where we're talking about late night feedings where you're like, oh, will they ever stop eating as a teenager? I don't know how I'm going to feed these kids. I don't miss, there's not much that I don't miss, but like, I don't miss sicknesses, and you do miss the snuggles that you get when they're sick, or the snuggles that when they want to watch Dora for the 750th time and you're singing the songs in your head when they're not around. You will miss that. they don't want to snuggle so much when they get older. Like, they're just too cool for that. They don't want to hug you. And maybe they do, but, sometimes it's like you don't want to give overkill. You can't have those little snuggles like, Mom, can you lay in bed with me? Now it's like, night, see you, bye. These are things, and I had to laugh the other day because on both sides of us, we have younger couples with younger kids. And the things that they get frustrated about as young parents with young kids are things that everybody gets frustrated about. And maybe you won't miss those things when they're older, but you can laugh about it. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, look, send them over here because we're not with them all day. So send them over here and we'll hang out with them while you breathe and get some sanity. Those are things that you're like, when you get to the end of the day and you're like, I don't know how I made it through. I don't know how I didn't lose my shit with them more than I did. You're going to realize, like, you know what? I'm doing a pretty damn good job as a parent, and I've got some pretty damn good kids, and there's some stuff I'm going to miss. So while you're there thinking you're about to lose your crap and your kids are, throwing clothes all over. Oh, I'm not going to miss the changing of clothes. Oh, am I not going to miss? We all do our own laundry in this house. At a certain age, you start doing your own laundry. And so then I don't care how many times a day you change your clothes. But I will not miss 14 different outfits in one day. I won't miss that. I won't miss rewashing clothes that were never put away. But when you go through those clothes that don't fit them anymore, you're going to miss what happened when they wore that outfit, or what was going on, or this was the dress they wore to that, or these were the little shoes that they wore for this. Those are things when you're going to be like, yeah, I miss this. So just know, and that's, I'm talking like in the little kid ages. So like tomorrow I'm going to go into like, the preteen ages, and then we'll get above and beyond that, because no matter where you are at in your parenting phase right now, stage I should say, because parenting's not a phase. It's a lifelong commitment, and it's a lifelong, I don't want to say worry, but you always have that, like, these are still my kids, these are still my babies. So, the things that you're going crazy over now are things that you may or may not miss. But whether you miss them or not, you will be able to laugh at all of them and know that and that's why I'm always like, I don't ever want to tell people like, you're going to miss this when it's gone, because you may not. There may be things that you don't miss, because I have a relative who will see little kids and be like, oh, I do not miss any of that. No, I don't miss the tantrums and the having to put them in timeouts and stuff like that. But those things are so small now compared to the things that you actually do miss. So just hold on to those things and realize, like, I'm going to make it through this parenting thing like everybody else does. And even days when I feel like I'm not doing it right, you just look at your kids. Go look at them when they're sleeping, and you realize, I've done this right. Because I don't miss the severe tantrums that would have me putting one or the other in their rooms, or the fighting that they would do over the little toys or whatever. But when they all played nice together, those are things you will miss. So focus on those things versus like the things that are really making you nutty, like they just don't listen and I have to yell all the time. And that's what my neighbors are like, I feel like we're always yelling. And I'm like, yeah, we hear you. And we just laugh. We laugh because we were there before. We really were. You, as they get older, I think you just yell at different things. That's it. But you will miss certain things. So the things that you find super, super cute right now, just make sure you do more of that, because those are the things that are going to overshadow the projectile vomiting things, or the family vacation where someone just was sick the whole time and you just couldn't do what you wanted to do, but you guys were together. So that is my trials and tribulations of this is what you're going to miss when you're gone, when this is gone of parenting and childhood phases. And just remember that you guys, whatever it is that you think you may be doing wrong, there's a good kid on the other end of it. There really is. So just hold on tight to those memories that you have of the crazy little things that you used to do, like little conversations, picking out what kind of clothes to put on them. Like, this is the cute little dress that, I'm going to pick out, or I can remember my son, we used to like spike his hair up, and he was like, this is my sharp hair. He thought it was like sharp, and it was great, you know. And he had this little favorite shirt that was like black, and it was a button-up shirt, and it had flames on the bottom. He's like, this is my fire shirt. And that's exactly how he talked when he was little. He had like this little deep, raspy voice, and at one point, you know, I was like, yeah, he's like this cool little kid. He's got this spiked hair and sticking up. Well, then it like wouldn't stick up anymore, and he didn't even want anything to do with having it sticking, being sharp. And then it was like, oh, Mom, this is the exact word he used. I tried to buy him, I don't remember what kind of pants they were, and I was like, yeah, these are cool. He's like, those are geekish, Mom. That was the end of me dressing him. He dressed himself from that point on because he didn't want to be geekish anymore. So I miss that. And that's something that you will miss when it's gone, you know. So when an older mom or grandparent or whatever it is says to you, you'll miss this when it's gone. And if you want to just be like, the hell, I will not miss this. Just take a breather, shake your head and nod at them. That's all. Because when people used to tell me that, I was like, there's nothing about this I'm going to miss. There's nothing about me chasing my child around at a party where I can't sit down. I am not going to miss that. No, maybe you don't miss that, but you're going to miss like the little shoes they wore to that party or whatever it is. There's just little things that when they get older, you realize, yeah, I really do miss that. So don't stress so much about the crazy things that drive you nuts. Just focus on the good things that you're like, yeah, maybe these are going to be things I might miss. Think about those the next time you step on a freaking Lego at 3 a.m, or the next time you're cleaning up vomit, because it does happen. You know, I would literally, like, when I couldn't handle that, I would line the floor with like towels from the bedroom to the bathroom. And then someone gave me this great idea, like, you know, when we're sick at our house, we camp out in the bathroom. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Sounds gross, but you know what? It's easier than cleaning up vomit. Okay, so there's your tip of the day. So that's all I have on this one. Tomorrow I'm going to head on to a whole new age group as to what you're going to miss, because maybe you don't think you will, but there are certain things that when your kids do get older, you're like, oh, I miss that. I miss, you know, I keep pulling up more from when they were little, but it's like even though, you know, like when they don't want to sit still for that whole diaper changing, and you literally have to like pin them down with your legs or whatever it is, wherever you're changing them, and you have to pin all their arms and legs down. Like, well, they only have, you know, 2 of each, but it feels like they have 8. And you're changing them, and you're so frustrated, you laugh at that. I don't miss it, but I laugh at it. So what you don't miss, you will live through and survive. And you will live to tell about it, and you will laugh. So enjoy every minute you have with them. Because life's precious, and so are your kids. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.